And we are backing at it, folks, with something crazy happening over the weekend. I am sure you guys heard the headlines. I was actually back home when it dropped. Hit you guys up immediately because we are talking about what is supposedly, but most likely, the highest buyout we have seen so far to be rumored in the Valorant space just a year after the launch of this game. The fact we're even talking about this being a potential is just madness. Last time we talked about this, it was the rumored $1+ million to buy out TenZ from Cloud9 to see if he'll be joining Sentinels over the weekend as well. Sentinels did announce he's already re-signed. Again, another loan through the Challengers Finals, which I guess is a different topic we could talk about because it's through Challengers Finals. It's not through Iceland. Who knows what Jack's play over at Cloud9 is going to be there. It's actually brought to us from George and Daily Esports. The new rumor out there and sources saying that his buyout was not $1+ million. It was apparently $2 million, with one source saying upwards of $5 million. So before I grab your guys' reactions, curious what you guys think from the article itself. Again, brought to us by George from Daily Esport. The North American org set TenZ buyout at around $2 million before the previous VCT Stage 2 qualifier, according to Tyler Erzberger, that being Fion, I believe. This figure would see the Jet main as one of the most expensive players in Valorant by a substantial margin. However, this figure has been a matter of dispute. His buyout could now sit at around $5 million, according to one source. And thanks to Ryan at Rush B Media, he just texted Cloud9 Jack Etienne, to which he got the response, LMAO, those numbers are garbage. No deal is done. I'm done talking for a second. What do you guys think about the possibility of $5 million?
I've got two things on my mind right here. As soon as we come up with the number $5 million, one was an important clarification that I feel like was on social media a lot after the initial, like, oh my gosh, $5 million buyout price. A lot of people were like, well, this is actually more of an asking price, not technically a buyout price that was set originally. These are just what they're asking for now. And so I think that's an important clarification. But then also, I think it makes me wonder, if they're saying that's the asking price, $5 million, how much are they having to, loan him for? Like, how much is renting if you're not buying,
We've heard numbers, and I don't know if it's something we can actually say, but I think it would be more reasonable than you would think. Maybe we could talk about, I just don't know what we can or cannot say. I don't think it's anything too absurd. It's a pretty good daily amount, though. Of course, but you got to think about Sentinels, how much they have benefited from having him. I would say it's been a pretty fair trade-off, which makes it very curious how they've loaned him out through Challengers Finals. I'm curious if that loan asking price will all of a sudden bounce up if Sentinels do make Iceland and they need TenZ, but that's for a future discussion.
Well, that's the smart play. It makes a lot of sense. Just, oh, did you happen to make major? You're in Iceland. You made the majors. You're in the big money event. Oh, but you can't have your best player. Well, maybe for the easy 3 easy payments of $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously and again, just speculation, but that could be the ploy, right? Sentinels, you finally do make the first international LAN, and again, you have a chance to win another Masters with TenZ. Is that the ultimate pushing of, like, hey, you can buy him now for a decent price? But let's get back to the number, which, by the way, Shroud has also reacted to. He apparently heard a similar rumor of $2 million, and he was like, you are crazy if you think anyone's going to pay $5 million for anybody.
I think he even kind of mentioned it in his video. I think $2 million is kind of crazy, just given where Valorant is currently. Like, Valorant is definitely like on a meteoric rise. Like, it is getting bigger and bigger, and the payouts are getting bigger and bigger. But still, $2 million for a buyout is like the top of the top of the top of like CS:GO tier buyouts. And while Valorant is a big esport and an ever-growing esport, it's crazy to me that there would be that big of a buyout on a player who's already partway through his contract, who is like, I'm not quite sure when I think he's got at least 2 or 3 years left, possibly.
Probably around 2.
Yeah, but still, like, $2 million for the rights to what would be, like, unless he renegotiated, 2 more years in a still kind of fledgling esports. That would be a crazy amount, and I kind of think that's why, like, Jack Etienne kind of laughed off the $5 million. $2 million is at least possible, but, like, as kind of Shroud said in the video, like, 750,000-ish seems much more reasonable and like at least a decent return on investment for both teams.
I mean, I told you guys when we talked about 1 million that I wouldn't pay the 1 million. You guys were leaning towards you
wouldn't pay it personally.
I don't have the funds, but no, but even 1 million. I mean, 1 million. This is not just a contract where a 3-year contract for $1 million where maybe you only pay out a year of that. You know, as we've seen in the past. This is $1 million you have to pay for someone who is not even committed long term right now to be a competitor. He's a great personality, a huge face, but that even seems. I mean, so yeah, for me personally, 2 million seems crazy. I think everyone agrees that 5 million is just out there. Let's just touch on the detail though that I think George has responded to, which I thought was very interesting because Jack's response was, LMAO, those numbers are garbage, no deal is done. That wasn't very specific about the 5 million number. He just said those numbers are garbage and no deal is done. Just because no deal is done doesn't mean that wasn't an asking price that was proposed to somebody. I'm not saying it happened, but it's not far-fetched to think that that number was
smart
thrown
move,
out.
though.
Yeah, as part of like a bigger negotiation, it could be like 5 million, a renegotiated contract, like some sort of extension, and just to touch back on it, Jake definitely does not have the money because those used to be sweatpants, and he's had to sell them inch by inch, just to make that rent.
I just wanted people to have a reason to watch these,
Okay, anyways, I feel like Jack could be putting up a bit of a front too on the business side of those numbers are garbage. We haven't settled on anything. Just to he's not necessarily denying anything. He's not confirming anything. So smart move. It could still be $5 million. He's not denying it straight up.
Yeah, he's saying
if
the
someone
deal's
does
not
come
done.
to him, then he can say yeah, sure, that's how much.
I think for me personally, we'll end on this. The move is you just gotta hope that Sentinels with TenZ do somehow make Iceland, and you go from there. I just don't know if any teams out there, even if they do have enormous amounts of capital, really want to make that financial risk, whether it be 1 or 2 million right now. TenZ's a great guy, great personality, and definitely the most valuable player. I just don't think the values are really there yet, but I guess we got to wait and see what happens in the future.
Yeah, and I think for the very last thing too, I think while this could be big brain, classic Jack Etienne just making real smart business moves, there is the risk of what if by the time Iceland happens and you're banking all this money on Sentinels making it to Iceland, them needing their player, what if Sinatra gets cleared before the event and all of a sudden all that leverage just evaporates?
Let's maybe save this for a future discussion because you're throwing a wrench in there that there are so many possibilities. I think Jack is well aware of this. Sentinels, obviously, they have not made an offer because they are waiting for investigations. You're throwing a wrench in there that people just, what if Sentinels do win? What if they don't win? What if Sinatra's cleared? What if so much going on right now. So we'll end on this. What do you guys think TenZ is worth? Is he worth $1 million buyout? Is he worth a $2 million buyout? Is 5 million an actual number? According to one source it is. According to Jack, it's garbage. We'll catch you guys back here next time. Take care.
For clarification, 5 million is literally a number. It is an actual number.
What did I say?
You said if 5 million is a number.
Okay. See you guys.